I built a 7-figure business as a Nigerian student, but I had to shut it down at some point. It's a story I've really not shared publicly. In this video, I'm going to make one of the most, I don't even know the exact word. I would really not want to share this. But after giving the deep thought, I discovered that there are people out there who this video will probably inspire, guide, or help them to achieve something bigger for themselves. All through my journey, I've actually spent time learning and growing and building businesses. So this particular video, I'm going to talk about my first major 7-figure business that I did. One of them actually while I was still a Nigerian student. A student in one of the high institutions here in Nigeria, and it's a story I've really not shared publicly on a platform like YouTube, but this is going to be the first time I'm going to share it, and I really don't know how it's going to come off like, but I'm sure it's going to inspire someone out there and help people not to make the mistakes I made. So at an early age, I was already business inclined, because for those who've listened to some part of my story, I always wanted to make money for myself. I wanted to have extra income and do extra things for myself. My parents were doing so well to make sure that they trained me in school and my siblings and all of that. But of course, as a young boy, you want to buy a kind of phone you want to use, you want to buy some extra clothes, some sneakers here and there. You just want to have extra money for yourself, basically. And I had that passion earlier on, and I really literally wanted to have and be in control of my finances. I don't want to be in a situation where I have to wait for someone to send me money for me to do what I want to do. So that was actually what pushed me into business. I tried a couple of other businesses. Maybe in a subsequent video, I'll give a very detailed documentary of my business journey, or maybe in a documentary video some other time in the future. I'm going to talk about this single business that I tried to do myself. And at a young age, I literally had little exposure to business. I literally had zero training in business scaling and how to build a profitable business. It was all basically try and error and all of that. And fast forward to today, I literally tell myself that if I know what I know now, I literally would have still grown that business to something bigger up to this moment. And I'm going to tell you guys what really happened. So I studied computer science, and one day in school, I came to class. I was in the class. A classmate of mine I worked with, someone I was close with, an acquaintance, a guy walked to me after the class and said, "Hey Joshua, I have this idea of something I want to build, but I don't know how to go about it, but I want to share with you." And of course, I started building applications and software there and there. Small apps then while a student. I remember then at the time I was good with writing PHP and HTML and CSS. I could use Bootstrap. If you're not a technical person, you might not really understand these things, but I could use Bootstrap 2, 3, 4, and then build my front end and use PHP to build my back end. And I was doing that pretty well, and I was building out a couple of products. I really didn't even have good education on software engineering and software development. It was just the little things I was able to pick out on the internet. No professional guideline, no, all of those stuff. But we were able to do a couple of things we could do at the time. So this guy walks up to me. His name is Shinet. He said, "Hey bro, let's build this application. I have this idea and I was thinking about it sometime, and I feel like it's going to work out well. I want you to be part of it. We are good with building applications, the back end guy, and then you have a couple of contacts and influence in school at the time. We could leverage on that to build something cool." So I was like, okay, I'm going to think about it. And I was like, okay, cool, let's do it. I was up for new challenges, exploring things. I've always been this curious guy. What is the worst that will happen? At worst, it won't work, but at least we made the effort, right? So we decided to go ahead with it, and then we started. I remember us having this meeting in my room in the hostel at the time, and we just talked, and then we came up with how to build it. We looked at some platforms that were doing something similar. We built it. And what was the business model? He said, when students resume in school, the new students, they always have this issue of not knowing where to get lodges, especially if they are new students and they don't have maybe an elder one or a family friend who is already in school. Most times they have to travel down to school and then begin to move around the school to find lodges that will suit their budget and then suit their kind of taste, different kinds of buildings out there. And of course, the lodge that is close to school or maybe far from school, depending on what the person wants really, and somewhere accessible to the things they want to access. And of course, I mean, if you're a Nigerian student, you know this is a major problem almost in every school. I really did not travel that much to know how it works for every school, but most schools, you're going to have this same problem. So we're like, well, let's build a platform where newly admitted students or even those students don't need to come to school to start moving around the entire campus, outside the campus, to look for lodges that suit them. Let them be able to swipe through their phone and see lodges and then pick the one they want and make payments for it. And then once they are coming back to school, we'll just walk them to the rooms. This was the final agreement after a lot of iterations on the flow. We're like, okay, we'll make it super easy for them. I'm a done for you kind of person, like do everything for them and make it easy for for people to just plug in and play, right? So we came up with the idea, and I ended up doing most of the software development myself, most of the parts. The other guy did some good jobs. We had two other amazing people. I can't even remember their name right now. that basically was responsible in getting the lodges. So I focused more on building out the software, and then focused more on having this interaction. At the time I was living in the hostel, but they were living off camp, so they interacted with their landlord and some other landlords of their friends' lodges, and we were able to get them to use the platform. And the deal was simple. The deal was we would charge the landlord 10% of the lodge fee for everybody we bring into their lodge. So we were telling them, hey, we're going to fill up your lodge for you. We're going to fill up your lodge for you. Allow us, let's make videos. I remember vividly one particular lodge. I remember the name of the lodge actually. It was a lot of back and forth. The landlord literally did not want us to do that. But long story short, maybe in a subsequent video, I'll be so elaborate in the details, right? But we later got the deal. I had to bring in a couple of landlords. Some of the landlords were lecturers in our school, and we had to talk to them about it. And then we struck a deal, 10%. So most of these lodges were like 100,000, 120,000 naira per person, like per room. Each person will have to pay 100, and we had lodges of 60,000 naira, 70,000 naira. So what we did was we built the platform and gave directions to these lodges. There is lodges in front gate, back gate, and there are no cardinal places in my school at the time. So if you're looking for a lodge, and we had this school Facebook group, that was where we usually actually used to scale it. And then you're looking for a lodge, you could get a lodge in front gate, back gate, and you could search on our list of lodges. Your budget is 60,000 naira, 70,000, 100,000, 150,000 naira lodge, and then you could filter out the location you wanted, and then you see a full picture. Some of them you see the video of the lodge, so you had the opportunity to explore the lodge even before saying. We had people call us, hey, I want this lodge, I want to pay for it. You send us money, we go and pay to the landlord, we take our cut, of course, and then once you are coming back to school, we'll be in school. I was also part of that process. We'll be in school and we help you walk into your lodge, and then you settle down. We remove all of the hassle basically, and that was the business. This was in my penultimate year. This started second semester. The next year was my final year, so they admit new students once every year. So after that period, during the next set of admission, I was a graduate, and the specific reason why that business had to shut down was all of us that were part of the business, I mean 4 of us, we were all living in different places, and none of us were staying back in school. So we couldn't continue. The goal was we were going to move it after the first successful year. We are going to move this business to other institutions and then scale it from there. We're already making contacts in Uniben. We had contact in Calabar University in Calabar, and all that. We made good effort actually, but once we graduated, everyone had to travel back, and that was it. But amazingly, we did amazing sales. We sold out lodges. We sold out 10%. So imagine we had a lot of 100k plus lodges that we filled. So imagine 30 rooms in a lodge, and we are doing 10%, 10,000 times 30 is 300k. You do it for 3 lodges, 4 lodges. I mean, check the numbers. The valuation of the company, if it was supposed to value, probably, I don't know what to be valued as. But it was a very interesting business, really, and it was profitable for us and all that. I learned a lot doing that business. I won't lie to you. It was a lot of the experience building with. That was the first time I think I did a partnership business, working with people, and it went well. We made the money from it, but the problem was there was no game plan for sustainability. We couldn't sustain the business. We couldn't scale it. I literally knew nothing about scaling a business. I don't even know what to do. I mean, we're all traveling, and we felt like our life is better off where we are traveling to than staying back to run the business. I mean, we just left it, and that was it. you know. So but it taught me a lot that it's actually very possible for you to build businesses even as a Nigerian student, as a young Nigerian. And I could remember this was not the first business I tried. I remember times in school where I had to take difficult courses in our class, go to YouTube, download videos on it, burn them into CDs and sell them in class. Yeah, I was doing that. So the goal was always find the problem and bring a solution to it. It was consistent for me, right? And doing that, I was so excited. It was another opportunity for me to solve another problem people were having. As people grateful. There are a lot of contacts that I got. I got to meet amazing people in school then because of that platform. And we built out the website and it was amazing. So it's beautiful to see my journey thus far. And I think one of the reasons why that business failed was we didn't have a scaling plan, a sustainability plan. And I would advise people, young people like me who are building businesses, one of the key things you need to factor in when you're building a new business is to factor in the game plan to scale it at least for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. I'm sure this video would help you because aside the fact that it's a business that I have built myself and I've gained a lot of experience by doing just that, though I call it a failed business, but the experience I got is priceless. And I want to encourage you, whether you're a Nigerian student or a student in any part of the world and you are looking forward to building your own business, you can take the leap and then just build something. Look for a problem that is within you, solve it. As basic as it might be, just keep solving problems. What will happen over time is that you become good at solving problems and you begin to gain more insight in solving problems strategically. And the more you grow in solving problems, the better you keep solving the problems. Then the better chances you have in building some of the most powerful and great products out there. That's how great leaders emerge, right? I'm sure you would emerge as one also if you consistently pay attention to these things. All right, thank you very much for joining me today in this video, and I'm sure you learned something. I would encourage you, please share this video to people, and I'm very, very sure that there are people who want to watch this video and learn a lot from it too. Don't also forget to join my YouTube community. Like this video, it will help the algorithm of this video and a lot more persons will learn from it. And of course, subscribe. See you in my next video.